Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Robin, or Hobbit's Reading List, and this month we are going to figure out what I will be reading in April with some very specific goals because I'm overwhelmed and I'm going to be looking for any way to make this month easier on myself, so let's get into it. Just a little announcement from editing Robin. If you haven't noticed already, I'm aware that I have something in my teeth. I was not aware of it at the time, but I'm choosing to go ahead and edit and post this anyway because my other option is just to delete it and not have an April TBR, and I thought that this one was too funny, honestly, to get rid of. So I'm aware. I will be vigilant in the future to check my teeth before I record, but just ignore it and enjoy the video. Thanks. Okay, so here's the thing. This semester has been very difficult. If you watch my vlogs, you know that I am going to campus 4 days a week, where the previous semesters I have only needed to maybe go twice, if at all. So that's eating up a lot of time. And these are just more intensive classes because I'm nearing the end of my degree. And so as the semester is, wrapping up, I'm having bigger assignments, more readings, and it's just, there's a lot of stress. And that means that I haven't been able to accomplish as much reading as I would like. So, all that to say, I have a consequence book this month. And I have a couple books that I need to read this month for class or for the podcast or whatever. So I'm going to be trying to shoehorn those into the game. And also, because I know what my consequence book is, I'm going to be aiming for short audiobooks. And I'm really hoping I can get some, if the game is nice to me. And that'll alleviate some stress. It'll make me feel more productive, even if it's gonna tank my pages average. And it'll make me feel better, and that's the most important thing at the moment in my life. Maybe not in yours, which is fine, but that's gonna be the goal. So the game is going to operate as it usually does. If you've watched my previous TBR videos, this is going to be a repeat, but I've try to make it quick. So I play a game called TBR Pursuit. I use the Lord of the Rings Trivial Pursuit board, and each color represents a different genre from my physical shelves. They're the 6 most popular genres that I have, and they are in no particular order: classics, romance, Jewish, LGBT, psychology, oh, I went too fast, and fantasy. And I also have that the bigger spots at the end of each spoke is miscellaneous, so that accounts for all the other books because my collection is very eclectic. I also do have a spot that adds a book to my TBR. I'm going to be avoiding those at all costs. I don't need additional books. Maybe we can go nuts with it in May because I'll have more time. April is not the month. No. So there's that. And so I will be rolling 7 times, hopefully that's it, and trying to, as I said, get the required reading into the game. So with that, I will be focusing on mainly, and this may bite me in the ass, right? I will be aiming for classics, because I'm reading Gothic literature and Wodehouse, and so 3 of the books are qualified as classic, and miscellaneous. So can you see how this might screw me? How I might get a lot of classic, but just no prompts that the books fit. And so I just end up with extra classics. That will happen. I know. But I have to try. So let's get into it. So for this first one, I get to just pick a direction. So I'm gonna go for classic, unless I roll 6. Okay. That will have me going this way. Okay, great. Very subjective.
Most anticipated. Amazing. For my most anticipated classic, I went ahead and picked Frankenstein. Now this is one of the books that I have to read for my Gothic literature class, but I am genuinely looking forward to it. I have never read Frankenstein. I know the story. I know what happens, but I've never actually read it. So I am looking forward to it. For people who don't know, Frankenstein is the story of a mad doctor named Frankenstein who creates a living being out of dead bodies and brings it to life. Now I'm going based off of what I know of the story, not necessarily the synopsis, which I have not read. But I know it features a lot of Gothic tropes. I know it features a mob with pitchforks, and I know you end up feeling very bad for Frankenstein's monster. But I do really want to read this. It's also nice that it is short. So I don't know if I will listen to it or read it physically, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But it should be really good. Alright. A second roll. 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So either way, it's psychology. Okay. There we go. Ooh. A friend recommendation. Yikes. Okay. A psychology book that is a friend recommendation. Now, unsurprisingly, it's a little limited. But, and this isn't a direct recommendation, but a while ago a friend of mine had recommended that I read this. And so it is Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel. Esther Perel is like the leading like couples therapist. She's amazing. And this, I believe, is her first book. Maybe, I could be wrong. I've read her other book, which was State of Affairs. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's her first book. I could be wrong. It's essentially about, how to describe. It's about maintaining the eroticism in a committed relationship, which I think Esther touches on, of like, that's not, this committed relationship that our society has now is not necessarily natural in terms of maintaining sexual like eroticism. So I think it's really interesting. I think it'll teach me a lot. It's also short. I really just needed to lean into that. Unfortunately, none of the books that I have that are only like 13 pages made it onto the TBR. 3. So 1, 2, 3, which is romance, or 1, 2, 3, which is LGBT. 1, 2, 3, just roll again. Okay, so romance or LGBT. Let's go LGBT. The odd number of pages. Okay. And then I have an LGBT book with odd number of pages. So it's hard to find a book with an odd number of pages, especially if you're using like Storygraph or Goodreads or something. Like, they go off of total pages instead of like when the story ends. And so on Storygraph, Board Gay Werewolf is like 256 pages, but the actual story ends on 253. Odd number. This is also available on audiobook, which is what I was sort of looking for, because my plan is to listen to a lot of audiobooks, hence the main short, in April, for a reason that I will talk about later. But Board Gay Werewolf is about a board gay werewolf. Brian, he's a slacker in his 20s. He is a werewolf. And then he meets Tyler, who is also a werewolf. And Tyler essentially has this plan that involves Brian getting involved with Tyler's pack, and I'm not sure what the plan is, but I think Brian's uncomfortable with it. So, but it's described as like funny, chaotic, big-hearted. Oh, hold on. Big-hearted, goofy, anarchic. Having anarchy, there we go, and funny, Board Gay Werewolf is a smart take on the doomsday logic of late capitalism and the complicated meeting point of masculinity and sexuality. More than that, though, and like Scooby-Doo with Grindr or Stranger Things with sex and ennui, it's a buddy novel about finding your pack, the power of friendship, and learning how to be comfortable in your own shaggy werewolf pelt. Honestly, it sounds really fun. So, yeah, I think this will be a delight. 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is classic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is romance. So, as I said, I'm going to be aiming for classics. Okay, that's not the best. Winter Vibes, which is not where I want to be, but I also don't know if any of the books that I need fit in there, so we'll see. Okay, a classic that has winter vibes, which again, not the vibe I'm going for. It is spring. I don't like to not read seasonally. I don't know why I included like the seasonal vibe books, because I always get them out of season. But I picked up Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. It is about this guy who was like one of the founding fathers of the atomic bomb. He apparently had come up with this other technology that would, that would send the world into an ice age. And I think they're like trying to find it or something. I don't know. The synopsis on Storygraph is way more informative than the synopsis on the back, but I don't want to pull it up on Storygraph again. So it says that Cat's Cradle is Vonnegut's satirical commentary on modern man and his madness. An apocalyptic tale of this planet's ultimate fate. It features a midget as a protagonist, a complete... That's what it says on the back. I did not just throw in that word. A complete original theology created by a calypso singer and a vision of the future that is at once blackly fatalistic and hilariously funny. Okay. Vonnegut is sort of hit or miss for me. Like, his writing style, it really depends on the mood that I'm in, if I respond well to it. Like, I love Slaughterhouse-Five, but I really didn't like, what was it? I think Bluebeard, which unfortunately was my dad's favorite Vonnegut. So, we will see. But again, 6, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 was classic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 psychology. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 LGBT. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 romance. Okay, so LGBT, classic, or psychology. Well, classic it is. Ugh. I can already tell this is not going to work in my favor. Yeah, my lowest rated. That's awesome. Actually, that might work. My lowest rated classic. I was so happy to get this because I knew what book it was going to be. I don't have the physical edition. It is Tales of St. Austin by P.G. Wodehouse, which is a collection of short stories that are set in a boys' school. It was published in 1903, which means it's one of his earlier writings, which means that his writing was not as refined. And I'm not expecting great things. I'm really not. His school stories are full of sports that I don't know or necessarily care about, too many names, and teenage boys. Not things that I'm necessarily interested in for a lot of reasons. So, yeah, the rating on Storygraph was a 2.96. It was my lowest rated classic, legitimately. And, yeah. It should be, a time. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Psychology. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or classic. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, perfect. An audiobook. I love that. I was gonna do that anyway. Okay, a classic that is an audiobook. I had a lot of fun with this because I picked The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. I figured, one, it's one of my shorter classics. Two, it has to be on audiobook. And with those two things, I'm like, well, then I should do a play. Because most of my short classics are plays. It was this, I had Midsummer's Night Dream, I had An Ideal Husband, also by Oscar Wilde. So I went on Audible, and I saw that they had a couple dramatized, words are hard today, editions of this. They have one that has James Marsden, Spike from Buffy, as the lead, and so I'm probably gonna listen to that one, and it's only about 2 hours, so I did look to be like, well, am I gonna like miss out on anything, but like it's literally just the play. Everything down here is rather footnotes about the different editions of the play rather than like actual helpful information to help me understand more. Like if it was Shakespeare, I probably wouldn't do it on audiobook just because in the footnotes there's so much like information of like context that is needed. I don't think that's the case for this. So that is why. Okay, for my last roll, I kind of don't want another classic because I feel like that's boring for people, but that's kind of what I need. So 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 psychology. 2, 3, 4, 5 psychology. There's nowhere else I can go. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's nowhere else. It's all psychology. Okay. Well, I said I didn't want another classic. Ugh. There we go. Oh, yay! The smallest book! Perfect. Okay. For my last one. If for some reason you are under the age of 18 and watching this, why? And also, please stop. At least for this next couple minutes. Skip ahead. Because my shortest psychology book, it's called Penis Genius. Look, I'm not gonna have this on screen. I've been collecting books for a really long time. I believe I was given this as a joke when I was like a teenager. And I haven't read it. I'm blushing so much right now. But it's my shortest book. And I've had to flip through a lot of its pictures. Yeah, I don't know how much I'll be talking about this one when I vlog. But it is helpful tips for relationships. So there's that. Yeah, those are the books I'll be reading. Oh god. Okay. Other than that, I'm just moving on. Other than that, I do have to finish reading The Monk. It was on last month's TBR as well. It's on this one because it's from my Gothic literature class. The Monk follows this guy who is a monk named Ambrosio and his descent from piety and his absolute downfall. I know the gist of what happens because we talked about it in class. It sounds rough. But my friend Ellis has read this book and they said it's fun. So it'll be a time. Content warnings if you check it out. There are some of those in there. So yes, I am currently reading it. I'm in the first chapter. But I have to read that this month. Ideally within the next like week and a half. And then for my consequence book. I did not grab it. So last month I had mentioned how my dad is usually very nice when picking out my consequence book. And that is true. we came up with a plan that I will be reading Insomnia for my consequence book. It's very big. The plan is that I will be reading this physically for as long as it takes me, and I will be listening to all the other books, or all of them that are available on audio. Hence why they have to be kind of short, so I can just power through them. But yes, I will be reading this physically after I have a whole plan for the month. I had to approach it this way. After I finish The Monk and Tales of St. Austin, I'll be picking up Insomnia. We'll see when that happens. But that is the plan. Insomnia, don't know anything about him. Okay, Insomnia is about this guy named Robert who is mourning the passing of his wife, and as part of this he develops insomnia. And so he starts taking nighttime, midnight, early morning walks around his town of Derry, Maine, which is also where It is set. And he starts seeing some interesting things. That's all that's on the blurb. But if you've been watching my vlogs or videos for a little bit, you know that I'm going to Maine in June, and so I'm trying to read more Stephen King books, and Insomnia is one of the ones that my dad recommended. So yeah, that's gonna be my TBR. Not as painful as I thought it was going to be. I managed to fit, what, 2 of the 3 books that I needed to in it, so that's pretty good. So I'm gonna try to get started on that. Yeah, let's let's work on our TBRs this month. Leave me a comment if you have read any of these books or have any interest in any of these books, or you just want to tell me about, you know, your plan to conquer reading in April. Like the video, subscribe, click the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I upload a video, because that way you can see my thoughts in like mostly real time with my weekly vlogs. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.